Well, that definitely escalated quickly. I don't know what to say other than it's definitely been a busy week. In this week, we went from in person instruction to no school to e learning to blended. So we've definitely done it all this week. And so definitely looking forward to the weekend and trying to catch my breath on all of this. So one of the things I shared with students in class is there are some things we can do to better prepare ourselves for success in this blended environment. And so, just to be clear, um, clearly, when I look at where we're at here at Center Grove, I think we're probably going to be in blended for a while now. Been wrong many times, but clearly we're going to be in blended through Thanksgiving, and we just need to be moving forward with that. And so, with that in mind, what I've talked with students about was some of these what are called executive function skills, or what they call them in education, and these are just skills or routines that we do here at school that can transfer to learning at home. And so I'm not going to pretend that it's not difficult. I'm not going to pretend like I think it's better than what happens in school. I think that, we're just going to try to make the best of this situation. And so these are some tips that I'm going to share with students. And the first is, focus. And so, here at school, we do, at least in science, we do some breathing exercises at the beginning of class to take just a minute to get ourselves focused on learning and ready to learn. And I encourage students to do the same thing at home. Um, just take a minute to just kind of turn off that phone or turn the phone upside down, push it off to the side. Maybe have a place where they can call like their school or their desk, and where they go to work is the way I phrase it with them. And so, uh, you know, instead of like sitting on your bed or whatever, where, when you're sitting on your bed, you're usually just kind of chilling out. But have a place where they can go to work, and that's school in the house, and that kind of thing. And if you don't, it could be something as simple as just taking a minute to breathe. It's like, okay, I'm going to school. This is what I'm doing. And with that, to develop kind of a routine. Maybe get up at the normal time that you always do, and do everything, you do all the steps that the students normally do as they kind of prepare for going to school at home. Uh, I've shared with them there are different schedules they can follow, um, but find one that works for them. And so I have some students who will work through their lessons in Canvas in the order they normally would. And so they just kind of go through school through Canvas. I have some students who will start with the things they don't like first, get those out of the way, and then kind of reward themselves with the stuff that they do like, at the end of that. Um, and I have kids who do the stuff they like first and then just kind of procrastinate on the other stuff, but then get it done later in the day. Whatever works, stick with that. But if it's not working, now we need to do something about it and try to fix those problems, whatever they might be. And so I kind of encourage kids to work through their schedule, take little breaks, just like we do at school in passing periods. Take a lunch, get out that phone, answer, text or whatever, do a quick TikTok dance, and then get back to work. And so, following a routine or a rhythm that works, and using their science notebooks, still having their notebooks, still putting things in there. I will give them things in class that they can then put into their notebook when they're doing those e-learning lessons. And so I'm front loading a lot of that stuff, kind of preparing for when they're going to be in e-learning. And so still giving them materials. If you're unable, if if your student is unable to be in at school, you might want to contact me about picking up some of those materials. I can make those available in the office. They can set those out into the foyer area, and so you can grab those. But I do think that it is important that they get those materials when possible. Now, it's not essential because I do put everything into Canvas, so they can still do it in their notebook. It's just not going to be as directed or guided because they don't have those paper that they can put into their notebook. And then that leads to my last one, which are just simply reading the instructions. It seems simple enough, but a lot of times when they're here in school, I can explain things to them and tell them the instructions. But in Canvas, I have to write that out. And, a lot of times they just are in the habit of skipping those instructions because they're hearing my instructions. And I've noticed that a lot of times kids are not reading those instructions that I put into Canvas or in the assignments. And even if I do put a instructional video, they're skipping the video and going right to the assignment and then trying to kind of figure it out. And so what I've told them is to really just kind of slow down a little bit, read the instructions, and you should be fine. I'm trying to include more icons, as you can see here, where that will help them kind of direct their learning a little bit. And so I'm using a computer icon for the e-learning days and a student, in person, or a person for the in-person days. And so that can kind of help sometimes too, but they're really going to have to, pay more attention to the instructions and the structure and things like that in Canvas as they move through those. So, I hope this was helpful. We are still doing our canned food drive. So we have several cans here in class. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that on Monday or Tuesday of next week, depending on when your student is coming in, if you could ask them to, bring in some canned foods for the Center Grove Care Pantry, we would really appreciate that as we try to help many families that are in need right here before Thanksgiving. So thank you so much. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me.